Peace, peace, peace. Assalamu alaikum. Today I want to talk to you about the story of the devil. Because according to some other people's traditions, the devil was a fallen angel. But in Islam, we believe that the devil was a jinn, meaning he was a creature that was created from a smokeless flame of fire that also has free will like humans, which is why he was able to disobey his Lord. Unlike the angels only respond to the command of their Lord, and they do have like they're told. They don't have free will to kind of like change their mind and not follow the command of their Lord. And this is why he was able to disobey. But I'll get into how he got expelled from the heavens. So Azazel was his name. When the shaitan, the devil, when he was created, his name was Azazel. And if I'm not mistaken, it meant the one that was created with a twist, right? The one that was created with a twist. And the job of Azazel was to come to earth and bring peace amongst the jinns, because the jinns reportedly lived on the earth before humans were even created. And I'll read you a verse from the Quran. And it says, "And remember when your Lord said to the angels, verily I am going to place mankind, generations after generations, on the earth. They said, will you place therein those who will make mischief therein and shed blood, while we glorify you with praises and thanks and sanctify you? He, Allah, said, I know that which you do not know." Now look this verse up in the tafsir of Ibn Kathir. And in the tafsir of Ibn Kathir, it doesn't really fully explain why the angels will ask that question to Allah, right? It doesn't really fully give you a, why would they ask, are you going to place somebody there who will cause mischief and shed blood while we glorify your praises? Now we know the angels only speak of what they have been informed, right? So a lot of this information, right, is actually in the history of At-Tabari. At-Tabari is also a companion, well, not a companion, but he's also a scholar in Islam who has a tafsir. A lot of the tafsir from Ibn Kathir actually comes from At-Tabari. And At-Tabari is a scholar who only took tafsir, or he took most of the information he reported was from Ibn Abbas, right? And if you know about Ibn Abbas, he was the nephew of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who the Prophet made a dua for him that Allah grant him the understanding of the Quran. So a lot of scholars say after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ibn Abbas was like the interpreter of the Quran, which is why Umar bin al-Khattab made him like part of like the council of like the Ijma, right? And he was very young. And a lot of people didn't understand, but you know, whatever. So not whatever, but I want to get to the story. So in the history of At-Tabari, he says that the Azazel, the devil, was created to bring peace amongst the jinns on the earth. And when he established peace amongst the jinns on the earth, God rewarded him and arose him to himself. So he was amongst the presence of the angels. This is why in some other traditions people think he was an angel, because he was in the presence of the angels. But he wasn't an angel. He was a jinn that completed his task. And some scholars say he was the most knowledgeable of the creatures, that he is, not was, that he is of the most knowledgeable of the creatures, right? Now, the story also reports that when Allah revealed this, right, when he told the angels, I'm going to create a generations of mankind, and before, in other verses of the Quran, it says like when Allah already shaped Adam and molded him, he already, so before he put him together with the mud, he told the angels to bring dirt, mud, because he created Adam from mud. And he commanded the angels to get all different types of shades of mud. Red mud, white mud, black mud, purple, all different shades and all different textures. And it is also said that from these different shades and textures that our colors, like our skin colors and our attitudes come from, based on the texture of the mud. So all of these things were mixed into one human being, which is why people tend to say from black people come many different things. But I just think when you mix all these different shades of mud, it becomes something dark, right? And some verses says Hamayin Mas, I forgot the word, but don't get me. But anyway, so it's like a dark mud. So when he fashioned this and created the body, before he gave it the breath of life, it is said that the shaitan went through the body of Adam from his mouth and came out his anus. And that he stood over him and he said, this thing is hollow. And if God ever gives you dominance over me, I will surely mislead you. So from that moment, he was already jealous. He already displayed envy and jealousy towards Adam, right, which was the first human. So when he announced this to the angels, and he was amongst them, and then after he created him, it says right here, it says, and remember when we said to the angels, prostrate yourself before Adam, and they prostrated except Iblis. He refused and was proud and was one of the disbelievers. So, according to what my sheikh was telling me, right, he was saying that his name became Iblis when he refused to prostrate. It was a clear disobedience. He refused to prostrate, right? He was, and it was an arrogant thing. So when he became arrogant, his name was Iblis, right? And I forgot what the word. It becomes something. I think it comes from Ablasa. I think my sheikh was telling me. And so he refused to prostrate, right? When the law, and it was more so about the command. And in another verse in the Quran, it says, "Anna khayru minhu," right? He said, "I am better than him." When he was asked, "Why did you not prostrate?" He said, "I am better than him." He said, "Wa khalaq," I forgot the word, "khalaqtahu min nar," or "khalaqtani." But he basically said, "You created him." He said, "I am better than him. I was created from fire, and he was created from mud." So in his mind, he thought fire is better than mud, right? So this is really like the brief story of, I don't want to say the beef between the shaitan and mankind, right? But this is like the beginning, and this is why he was in the presence of the angels. And because he was expelled from the heavens, all of them got expelled from the heavens eventually as enemies to one another. And he told Allah, right, before he was expelled, he said, because you, look, this is how bold this jinn is, the shaitan is, the devil is. He told Allah, because you have put me in error. Mind you, he's the one that disobeyed. But he said, because you have put me in error, I will sit on your straight path and wait for your righteous servants. And he said, and I will attack them from the front, and I will attack them from the back, and I will attack them from the right, and I will attack them from the left. This is what he told. But notice how he didn't mention from below or from above. And some scholars say because the dua goes up and the blessings come down. And he doesn't have no control over that. And the devil knows that. And in another verse in the Quran, he says, on the day of judgment, when man, he says, on the day of judgment, that man will place blame on him for misleading them. And he will tell them, see, because a lot of people like to blame the shaitan for the things that they do. And on the day of judgment, when the people will try to blame the shaitan will say, he said, don't blame me this day. He said, I have no power over you except that I called you and you came, you responded to me. So this day, blame yourself, because I can't do nothing for you and you can't do nothing for me, right? So I just wanted to give you that little story. There's a whole bunch of studying Islam and like the history and the histories of the ayahs of the Quran. And again, I'm telling you, this information is reportedly in the book of the history of At-Tabari. And again, his books haven't been translated into Arabic. This is information that I got from a brother. I'm telling you this as a disclosure. This is like the disclosure, right? Like, again, you could fact check it, because at the end of the day, I'm not a native Arab speaker. I haven't read the book. This is just what I was learning under this brother. And we know brothers are not infallible. They're liable to make mistakes. May Allah have mercy on the brother. He has passed away, and the information could be wrong. I'm not saying it is wrong. I'm just saying that, like, don't take that at face value. Do your research. Look it up. If you could get your hands on the history of At-Tabari, get it. And if the information is wrong, like, I don't got no problem correcting it or removing the video. But hopefully y'all liked it. Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting story, and I just wanted to share, like, the creation of like the beginning of creation. Well, between like the jinn and humans. But let me know what y'all think. Assalamu alaikum.